Hello, and thank you for watching this video. We are excited to give you a PPP update. About a week ago, the PPP forgiveness or loan forgiveness application was presented, and I've had a chance to digest it. First thing I want to do is take a look at what you're looking at now is our COVID-19 tax resource folder, which I hope you've watched or reviewed before and checked out the links. I added two more links today. First one is the PPP forgiveness application link, which is right here. The second one is the AICPA Resource Center link. I'm going to take you through both of those links on this video as we digest the loan forgiveness application. Before we jump into the loan forgiveness application and the related resources, I want to point out that I always update the frequently asked questions provided by the SBA for the PPP program. The only new question this week is number 48, which is really a lender deadline question. It does not pertain to us. So we're going to get rid of that. We're going to look at this 11-page PPP application. I'm just going to make this a little bigger on the screen. And I want to remind people, I'm not going to run through all 11 pages because you do have the link. I'm going to point out some things that stood out to me. I want to remind you that the application is processed by your lender. So you submit this to your lender, not to your accountant, not to the SBA directly, but to the lender, okay? I would anticipate that most lenders will have an online application process where you scroll through and upload documents and questions. I would assume if a lender had an online loan application to obtain a loan, they're going to have a forgiveness application online. I imagine that some of the smaller banks and credit unions might have you fill this application out by hand. We are still awaiting that, and that's going to be a lender by lender decision. Also want to point out that there are a lot of times with the disbursement dates, we have a lot of clients and friends concerned about the 8-week period. There is an alternative payroll covered period. I want you to look at this page 1 that basically says, hey, if you received your disbursement on April 26th and your payroll isn't right away, that you can have an alternative date to the date you receive funds based on your payroll cycle. So definitely talk to your bank about that if you have questions, and look at this alternative covered payroll period. Couple things just to keep in mind when we think about PPP forgiveness. There are two buckets of costs. There are eligible payroll costs, which can make up to 75% of your forgiveness amount, and non-payroll costs. Non-payroll costs can make up to 25% of your forgiveness amount. The payroll costs, I'm going to imagine that all payroll software providers are going to give you a report that calculates your eligible payroll costs. Keep in mind that the maximum per person is based on an annual salary of $100,000. So the maximum eligible payroll costs are going to be about $15,000 per person at the maximum. So that's the payroll costs. On the non-payroll costs, we knew that utilities were going to be involved. There's a lot of ambiguity as far as internet, as far as telephone. I feel that internet and telephone are utilities. You want to talk to your lender, and a lot of the lenders are still looking for more guidance. We do know that you have had the utility or the rent or the mortgage in place by February 15th, as you can see here. One thing for your covered utility payments that we're still waiting on some more guidance is transportation. So does that transportation cost mean a vehicle lease payment, interest payment on a vehicle, gas? I can't tell you right now 100% I know what transportation costs are, but we are working towards getting more clarification, and you know, once I know, I'll let you know. So I would definitely keep track of these costs, as we said. The application, again, I'm sure it's going to pretty much be online. It's 11 pages, a lot to digest. It does have some good instructions. I did mention it's $50,835 is your maximum PPP loan forgiveness per person. We know it's a lot to digest. So what we did is we started leaning on the organizations that we lean on as a CPA firm. And the leader in our world, in the CPA world, is American Institute of CPAs. I'm going back to our COVID-19 Resource Center. Right here, if you click on this link, the AICPA very generously created a resource page. That's here. Again, it's on the link. And they provided, you have to scroll down, all right, keep scrolling down. They provided a ton of awesome calculators that are in Excel. So you can actually click here, I'm going to show it to you, and download an Excel file for forgiveness calculation. They also have some for seasonal businesses as well as for a self-employed person. So when you open that, this is a free resource, and I would say definitely use it. The spreadsheets are really nice. I'm going to pull one over for you to look at. And it allows you to enter a bunch of information, so it's going to calculate ultimately your forgiveness amount and assist you when you are doing the loan forgiveness application. So really nice resource. This is going to be our go-to. If you're having trouble accessing it, please let our client service team know, and we will get that to you. So the self-employed spreadsheet is much simpler. We're going to pop that open also. And let me move that over. We understand when you're self-employed, the maximum PPP forgiveness, let's say the only person is $50,300. So if you can, try to use some utilities. My initial research is telling me that home office utilities, like paying a portion of your gas, electric, if you have a home office, are not going to be eligible. But once we know more information, we will update. The final thing I wanted to point out was on the AICPA resource link right here. There is a PDF that explains the AICP or the PPP forgiveness process. I really like this PDF because it really takes you through the whole application process. And let me go back here. I'm sorry. The other PDF, sorry about this, the PPP forgiveness steps. So if you're looking for the application process, it's a little late in the game for that. There's a PDF for that, but this one is the PPP forgiveness step-by-step process. So the spreadsheet assists you in your calculations, but this is a nice thing that the AICPA put out in assisting you with, okay, step one, let's track all the costs. Step two, calculate any reduction in payroll. Make sure you have the same amount of full-time equivalent employees. I know we've had a lot of questions. If someone refuses to come back to work, can you replace that person? Yeah, in my opinion, you can. There's a lot of information on the application. If that person happens to be a family member and you're paying them a fair wage, I feel replacing a person that refuses to come back to work would be appropriate. And again, step 5, the payroll costs forgiveness floor. So all of these things are really nice resources. So keep checking the Resource Center. We're going to update videos as we learn more information. But my advice is if you have the PPP and you're a client of ours and you've told us, we have tagged you and we will be reaching out with additional information. If you are watching this and you're a client of ours and we don't know you received the PPP, please let us know so we can appropriately tag you. Have a great day. Have a nice weekend and a nice holiday weekend, and take care. Thanks for watching this video.